Hello and welcome once again to C's Listening Room. This is my second video for the night. It's another one that I've pulled out and recently re-listened to. Name of this one is 001. It's a group called Dovetail Joint. It's a construction term, I believe. It has to do with building houses and whatnot. Copyright on this is 98.99. I believe I bought this in 99. There was a track on here called Level on the Inside, which got a little bit of radio play and then just kind of faded away into obscurity, seemingly never mentioned or heard from again. That was about the only hit that was on this album. Musically, I would say it's hard alternative, maybe kind of metal, modern, very contemporary metal or contemporary hard alternative. I would say probably a hard alternative album. It's on the heavier side. Now, you know I love talking about album covers and the packaging on it. And I think this could possibly explain why it was only a one-hit wonder, as far as I can remember. Love on the Inside being the reason I bought the album. But that's the cover. Looks like a sofa. It's like a leather background, and then Dovetail Joint is kind of screwed on there like a almost like one of those name tags. Look at the back here. It's supposed to be to me, when I look at that, it looks like a mouse trap. I know it's not, but wait a minute, is it? It might be. But the whole packaging on it is kind of like this. It looks like an industrial album, like it's industrial music. There's a band portrait. It's what you actually do get to see what the guys look like. But it looks like it's industrial music or some kind of electronic music, which it really isn't. It's really just a hard alternative album. So perhaps that's one of the reasons why it just didn't go anywhere. This is another album that I think is very poorly designed. Does not really reflect what the music sounds like. Looks like it's for a completely different genre. And the people that would have probably liked this band likely just saw it on the shelf and said, that doesn't look like anything anything I'd enjoy. So again, another one that I think is a little ill-advised when it comes to the packaging. But I bought it for one song, Level on the Inside. It has a good opening, has a very simple but very good opening riff. Dun 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 dun. I mean, it's a very simple rhythm, very simple little melody, but it works great. I listened to it recently, and the song really wasn't as good as I remembered it. I listened to it, okay, it starts out cool until the singing part comes in, the vocals. It's a boring song. Everything on here was boring, I thought. I just wasn't impressed with it. I remember I thought I kind of liked it when I bought it back in 99, and listening to it again, I've just heard so much that was like, I've heard so many bands that were like this. I've heard plenty of music that was similar to this, and I got bored of it. I got bored with it, and really quickly. I think there was the same problem with the Seven Dust album that I reviewed. It's one of those things where it's cool when you hear it, when it's still kind of fresh and new, but then when so many other bands do it and you hear enough of them they all kind of sound alike, you bore easily with the whole genre, and you just like no longer have any use for the whole thing. And I think that's kind of the problem I had with this. Add to it, I don't know if these guys really had a gimmick or had their own little style that separated them from the other bands that were doing the same thing. They're just kind of, I would say it's kind of generic. it was really, I mean, I was really disappointed. I was really excited to find this CD and pull it out and listen to it again. But nothing on the album really entertained me anymore. The one surprise is track 3, So Graciously Said. After when it came on, I instantly, it was a familiar sounding song. Nothing else on the album was particularly familiar, but other than Level on the Inside. But So Graciously Said, when it came on, I'm like, I remember this song. Not saying that it's a good song, it's just for some reason I remembered it. When the chorus came on, I'm like, yes, I remember this song now. But it's generic, it's kind of boring, and I don't feel like these guys really did the sound and style better than the 3 dozen other bands that were doing it with a bit more success. So I can't really say that I'm surprised they weren't bigger. I mean, maybe considering the time period that they were in, maybe you could have expected 2 or 3 more radio tracks out of them, but the biggest hit on this album wasn't that big of a hit. And I just think that it's a poorly packaged, again, as I said, it looks like an industrial album. This does not look like a hard alternative album. It doesn't look like anything that fans of this genre would gravitate towards. Even this, I mean, I'll give you an example. I had Becoming X from the Sneaker Pimps, which were like trip hop. They were an electronic band. This looks like the same kind of graphics that you see on that album. I think the whole design of the album looks like the Sneaker Pimps album, which was much more suitable for that band, which has a very different style than Dovetail Joint. So I think this is a band that just didn't market themselves properly and didn't put as much effort into making a unique individual product that fans of this genre would really enjoy and would allow them to flourish and kind of stay on top of the pack. So, album that really has not aged well, one that I thought was good in 1999 when I bought it, that I honestly, I don't have any intention of listening to this again. I probably am not even going to keep this album. 2 stars. Even the best song on the album has not aged well and isn't that good anymore. I wish I had something nicer to say about it. I want to root for these guys because I think this is the only album they ever came out with, and I would have liked to have seen what they could have done, but not an album that stood the test of time, unfortunately. So, 2 stars for 001. On that note, guess I'll end it here. Catch you around. Thank you. Stay tuned.